Okay, so good morning from Big Bend, day 2 of our Carnarvon Gorge walk. Joe and I are heading up to Battleship Spur as a day walk today. We only had 3 days for this walk, so we can't do the whole great walk. So yeah, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. It hasn't been an early start, but we're heading off for the climb. I'll spin the camera around and I'll show you. This is what camp looks like in the morning. Got some fairly big cliffs towering over us. Got my walking partner in crime anxiously waiting for me because I'm slow. There's the little water hole. It's got my name in it later on, I think. Look at those cliffs. And that's where we're heading. So we've just dropped down back towards the visitor centre, about half a k if that from the camp. But now we're swinging out of the main gorge into this side gorge. And this gorge is pretty specky. It's very narrow. So we'll follow this for half an hour and then we climb up, start climbing up towards Battleship Spur. So this is the start of, I think it's Boowinda Gorge. Begins with a B anyway. This is really specky through here. So we're just got to the narrow bit. Well, one of the narrow bits, it gets narrower. There's Joe for a little bit of context on the size of it. You can pretty well span this gorge with your arms in a couple of spots. Yeah, you wouldn't be in there. Yeah, anywhere in the gorge I'd be out of, I think. But these side gorges particularly. Yeah, it's really, we've been walking maybe half hour through here, maybe a bit longer. We've mucked around taking a lot of photos, as you would. It's starting to open up now. We're going to swing up a side gully very soon. I think it's where this, about 20 metres in front of me actually. And climb up out of the gorge system. I think it might be somewhere near this tree, maybe. It's been a while since I've been in there. That's not it, I don't think, but it's something similar to that. Okay, so we've just come out of that gorge. This is the side gorge. We're going to scramble up now. We might explore a bit further up here later on. We'll see how we go. Oh. So yeah, that's 100 metres of really kind of tough walking, then it evens out, so it's okay. We're into the climb. So the climb's eased off a bit after that first 20 metres. Still fairly solid there. At least I'm not carrying 5 days food this time. Yeah, at least when we come down tonight, we're not far from a swim. Okay, so we're out of the gorge system. Nearly. Joe's coming up behind me, juggling her trekking poles. I've got no trekking poles today, mine are holding up my tent. Otherwise I'd have mine too. So this is kind of typical of the country we're walking through now for the rest of the day until we come back down here. That little green sign up there, that says that's the go any further and you'll die sign, I think. I haven't been a lot of these walks. But yeah, this open kind of, I don't know, savanna-ish kind of country. It's more typical of Carnarvon National Park than the gorge, actually. So now we're heading up more gently, but up a fair way. So we're, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes out of the gorge. We're out of Boowinda Gorge, so we're still climbing fairly solidly up these steps. Good fair views. The long views are starting to open up a little bit now. I'll get to the top up here and I'll swing the camera around. Well, it's not really the top, but I'll get to a level bit. That's where we've come from down there. So we're walking through these cycads, and Joanne has pointed out a Carnarvon palm to me in the background, which is a species unique to the area, as you guessed, which is the bigger one up there and the bigger one over there. Always pays to walk with someone smarter than you, I've found, especially when you don't know much about the bush. So I'm just going to round this corner and you can actually see the end of Battleship Spur in the distance, which is where we're climbing to. So that pointy one through the trees there, that's the end of Battleship Spur, that's the lookout. We got a bit of climbing to do yet though. So there's a few things about this climb I remember. I remember this scree slope, and there's another kind of get-up spot, which isn't far from here. I used to have to climb up a cliff on some roots and some kind of rock handholds and roots. Nowadays I've got a ladder there. It's funny how I use these little things I remember to punctuate the walks. As I get to one, I tick it off, and then you get to another one. Seems to make it easier in a strange way. Maybe that's just me. So we're on a bit of a ridge now. Views to the right, views to the left, views behind us. Reminds me of walking in Boowinda Gorge in Victoria. So this bit we're coming up to, I think, is the old bit that I call the get-up bit, where you go up the ladder. Yeah, here it is. So what the go is here, back in the oldie days, you used to climb up there, up the roots and up the rocks straight up. And in the ye oldie days, in the Jurassic period, nowadays we've got a shiny ladder, which will make things a bit easier. Just ignore my cackling partner in the background there. There's been a lot of prickly pear up here. Kind of makes you wonder why the rangers aren't poisoning it or getting rid of it. It's right beside the track. Some of it's not young. Look at the size of that one, that tree. I would have thought they've been here for quite a few years. If I lived a bit closer, I'd wander back in and do it myself. Although that's probably against the law. Okay, that's pretty much it for the climbing. Okay, this is the top of Battleship Spur. Deceptively easy last little bit of the walk. It's a fair grunt from the bottom, from down in the gorge, especially if you're carrying all your gear for a great walk. Don't go any further than your die sign. You've got to move around a little bit up here to get the best of the views. We'll go for the money shot first. There's a big prickly pear growing in exactly where you used to get the photo from. How awesome is that, eh? Yeah, I was just saying that I've got the video running. I was just saying exactly where you used to take the photo from. There's a big prickly pear there now. Oh, wow. So this is the money shot. That's the gorge we walked through yesterday. And that over there is the Consular Tableland, I think. So I'm up on near the end of Battleship Spur. That's looking down into the upper reaches. Carnarvon Gorge. I'd say that cliff line through the trees there is Big Bend, is where we camped last night. So the rest of that gorge up there is untracked. Maybe an adventure waiting for another day there, I reckon. The Great Walk itself, walks around. Well, that's the back end of it over there. That's the last day, and it kind of follows that tableland, Consular Tableland, I think it is. Kind of walks around the headwaters of the gorge in a big arc for 5 days. So the Carnarvon Great Walk isn't gorge walking. It's really this kind of open, kind of dry forest. It's nice. It's nice, but it's not gorge walking, which a lot of people probably expect it to be. Gorge looks pretty spectacular from up here. So the sun's just come out on the gorge, and it looks, how would you say, gorgeous? It looks good. There's a dad joke for you. Alright, well, all good things come to an end. This was about a 600 metre climb and about about a 5k walk up here. Took us 2-3 hours, I guess, but we stopped a lot. So, but with a pack, probably take 3 hours to get up here, I guess, stopping occasionally. It's time to head down for a bit of a swim now and some maybe exploring. So we're just dropping off Battleship Spur Lookout while we're still on the spur. We're about to drop sideways. That one start dropping back down into the gorge. This is about the only easy bit, and we're about 100 metres from the top, from the summit. This is about the only easy bit on the climb from Big Bend to Battleship Spur, is this little bit here. There's a little track junction down here where the Great Walk heads off to the right. You can just see it in front of Joanne over there. But yeah, the rest of this walk is, it's not super hard, but it's pretty well uphill or downhill all the way, or you're actually in the gorge, rock hopping your way through the gorge. There's a walk for another time. Last time I came through here, I met a guy about 1 kilometre or 2 further down this track, the Great Walk over there on the right, and he was lost. I had to bring him back and point him back to the visitor centre. The view from here is almost as good as the view from the top of Battleship Spur. The only thing from Battleship Spur, you can see a little bit the other direction. So we're back down, we're obviously heading down towards the gorge again. It's a steep little drop.
Watch out for the broken step.
No worries. It's a fair way down, isn't it? A couple of wedgies soaring around up here. They're getting a bit high now though. So we're just dropping down this kind of, I don't know what you call it, a spur I suppose. And we get to this ladder in a minute, but you can kind of, the country's very acute along here. But the one thing about walking down is, which I've only ever done a couple of times, is you get some good views of the gorge on the way down. Whereas when you're walking up, the gorge is behind you. Geronimo. I wish all bushwalking was this easy and this pretty. So one thing I remember from my last visit here, I don't know, 10 years ago I guess, maybe a bit more, was the pig damage. The pigs, particularly up on the tablelands, the pigs were phenomenal, but this is climbing up towards Battleship Spur, and there's a lot of pig damage here too. So between the prickly pear and the pigs, they've got a few environmental issues they're dealing with up here. It's a massive park, so I pity the rangers trying to get on top of it. So we're getting close to the entrance of Boowinda Gorge. It's a little bit of forest, it's quite nice actually. As you would expect, the descent's been a little bit quicker than the ascent. Exactly how quick I'm not exactly sure because I've lost my watch. But I'm thinking it's probably taken us an hour and a bit from the top so far. We've got a bit to go yet though. So we're dropping into back into Boowinda Gorge. This is the steepest bit of the walk. Some old man noises for you. It's actually easier coming up this stuff than going down sometimes, so I'm not going to video too much here. She's definitely pretty fucking steep and loose. So we just come out of there. We're back in Boowinda Gorge. Just having a bit of a break in the shade before we push on down to the camp, I suppose. So we've actually turned right up the gorge rather than left, back towards camp. We're just doing a little bit more. Going to check a little bit more of Boowinda Gorge out. This place is pretty amazing. Yeah, lovely little prickly pear Joanne's found. There's another narrow bit up here by the good. Joanne's talking to the pear, not me, I think. So that light's lighting up a side gorge off the Boowinda Gorge, which in itself is a side gorge. So we've turned around and we're now making our way down the gorge. We'll go back past the entrance, the climb out spot in a minute, and then we'll head back towards the camp. I think the plan will be to have a swim and then maybe go up to Cathedral Cave for dinner tonight. We shall see how that all goes. This will be Joanne and my last night camping for probably a long time. This is our last night on our walks. So, and yeah, we're both going back to our respective home lives. I'm going back to work for a few months. Joanne's starting work again soon. So I don't know when we'll actually catch up for another walk. So it's been a good one to finish on. It's hard to get enough of this place. The trees. Yeah, I was just looking at that. There's a side gorge here that looks amazing, a side kind of fault in the rock where the rock's worn away on both sides of this gorge. That one up there looks, you could get a fair way up that, to be honest, if you had the time and the inclination. So this is pretty much the end of, pretty much out the entrance of Carnarvon Gorge again, where Boowinda Gorge pops out. Starting to lighten up above us. Alright, we're just about back in the main gorge now. We're just heading back to camp. It's a fairly solid day, I reckon. We've probably only walked, I'm guessing, 12k so far. But yeah, both Joe and I are feeling it a bit today. Some rough walking on this one, on the side gorge. So we've been for a swim. We're just about to head back down to the cathedral. As I said, we're about to head down to the cathedral for dinner. But yeah, this is Big Bend. This is amazing. There's rock formations there. There's our camp just up there. So we're just back at Cathedral Cage. We just had dinner. We took in the ambience of the place. It's got a very calming, serene kind of vibe, this place. You can just hear the creek running in the background, the birds. Okay, it's 10 o'clock again. We're at Carnarvon Gorge. So yeah, today was a fairly solid day. It was an awesome day. That walk up through Boowinda Gorge is up there with some of the best stuff we've done. And Battleship Spur, the view from up there is amazing too, and the climb's not really that bad. It's there's some good bits, some easy bits and some hard bits, but the view from the top is amazing. When we got back down, we did a bit of an exploration. We instead of turning left down Boowinda, we went up a little bit, checked it out. That's nice. And yeah, and we had dinner down at the art site, so that was good too. And now, my last night in the tent for this trip. So that's a little sad. Jo's just flashed on the lights in her tent by the look of it. But yeah, tomorrow we walk out. So I'll catch you then. Last day on our Carnarvon Gorge walk. See ya.